सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थः ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ॐ नारायणं पद्मभवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरोन् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ॐ विदिताखिलशास्त्रसुधा जलधे महितोपनिषत्कथितार्थनिधे हृदये कलये विमलं चरणं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्। Let us salute the entire Guru Parampara, starting with the Guru Tattva and also the Upanishad Rishi Parampara and our own personal Guru Parampara, and also the Lord in different forms as well as our own Ishtadevata. May we all wholeheartedly salute and surrender Shruti Mata, only after whose grace that we will be able to understand the Shastras. It is always natural and normal for all we human beings to leave the world external because of it being easier and it is very attractive, and there is quick results that are coming out of actions. Those results give us some sukha, satisfaction, bhoga. Therefore most of the beings are turned towards externality only. It is very tough and it is very rare few that start inquiring or questioning about the substratum or the root or basis or the cause of both outer and inner world. To even come to that level of inquiring itself is a sign of great purity, sign of lot of subtlety and maturity. And yet the outer world will not leave such person, and going through that outer struggles and inner attempts, slowly in his maturity he starts becoming more serious, sincere, deeper in inquiring about the truth or the reality or the substratum, without fully getting carried away by the external only. He is called as a jignasu, and if he gets the guru in his life he becomes shishya. And if in through the guru's teaching he understands that this life is life of bondage, living at the level of only the effects or the sthula, and the real liberation is only when the ultimate substratum is recognized and established in And when he seeks that, then he becomes mumukshu. That mumukshu only after hearing from the Guru and doing manana, chintana, and he gets conviction about the goal and means, then he starts becoming the sadhaka. And that sadhaka only starts consciously doing the sadhana of transcending or rising above all that which is seen or all that which is imagined, all that which is projected, all that which is unreal or not self. And then only what is real, what is self, he is able to slowly apprehend, comprehend. And in its own maturity takes time, its own. Slowly he starts getting the glimpses of it. And when he is consistent, he gets fully established in that. This is our journey of a human being from the most ordinary mundane level to the ultimate. In that process, where do we stand? And wherever we stand, one aspect that we are having little jignasa to know the Upanishad, study the Upanishad, learn itself is a very good position. We have to keep on protecting it. And always it is true that in any period of time, especially in this Kali Yuga, with our own background and the world around, to become introverted, to become intellectual, and that also using the intellect to inquire about the truth, that too based on the Shastras along with Adi Shankara Bhashyam. These are all very high level of pursuits, not possible for ordinary. The ordinary people who are very good, they'll be happy, satisfied when some bhajana kirtana are done, some of the some subhashitas are heard, some values are told, some stories are told, some emotional aspects are told, and one or two thing external sadhanas, ye karo, उनका हो जाता है जन्म. But then going into the details of the truth through all the analytical method and differentiating the not self from the self and bringing into synthesis all understandings and to get convinced about the Parama Atma and pursuing it, and while pursuing the readiness to sacrifice all that which we were so much lovingly holding on to so far, which was really yielding to us wonderful pleasures and all, how much tough it is a job. But never mind, these are the subsequent steps, it will happen. But today we have to congratulate ourselves, at least we have the willingness. And never ever it's a smooth ride promised by any Rishi Muni Guru, whether in trying to come to the class, whether in understanding what is said in the class of the Tattva, whether it is doing sadhana and reaching. And that heroic efforts by a courageous, daring person alone will make him proceed. And why not we invoke them? Let us invoke that heroism, let us invoke that Kripa, Gurus and all. Let us invoke our own inner, whatever the commitments and convictions, then definitely, slowly the difficulties become easier and the seeming impossibilities become possible. And what is possible? Through the study of Upanishad with Bhashyam, we are getting convinced about the absolute truth and we slowly pursue all our jivana in that Adhyatmic sadhana only to reach out to that truth. Though it is now impossible or difficult, it can be made possible. Only three, four things are: we don't leave our satsang, we don't leave our guru, we don't leave our study, we don't leave our sadhana, we don't leave our faith in God and prayers to Him, and we don't lose confidence in ourselves, and we don't get distracted into the earlier world of worldliness, life of worldliness. If these six, seven things, when we take care, definitely we will proceed. Every one of them are important. Most important all of them is the self inspiration, in which we always say, I can do it, I will do it, I have to do it, I must do it. What is that? The study of Shastra, understanding, practicing, knowing, experiencing, establishing the truth, the self, the reality. So we are just taken a chance from last year and a half or two to just browse through the Upanishads with Bhashya. Some information came to us, yet to be fully convinced. And we are continuing the study of that. We have done the Ishakena, Kata Prashna, Mundamandukya. As I am saying, it's not a guaranteed thing fully we get established because it depends on each individual's vasanas, his own effort, his own pushes and pulls that decides his progress in sadhana. How much he is seeking grace of Guru and God independently, individually, personally. So many factors along with the prarabdhas, इतने सारे काम करते रहते हैं रिजल्ट पाने में. So all that factors, none of them are in our control. Whatever is in our control, little time, little mind, little energy, we are trying to use here. But as the journey started, if you have faith, definitely we'll proceed. Definitely we reach out also. Each of the Upanishad beautifully was trying to guide us as to how to understand the truth, how to contemplate on it, how to reject the Anatma and reach to it. And then yesterday, Adi Shankara Jayanti, the concluded text was the highest, the masterpiece. The Mandukya Upanishad with the four prakaranas of Agama Vaitatya Advaita Alata Shanti with so many of Karikas, Bhagwan Gaudapada and Shankara explained exhaustively. We tried to see, and none of that goes waste. And yet, it's a pursuit till we reach the goal. We cannot stop, we cannot lazy out. Little of the study given up, again everything is forgotten. We go back to normal, earlier life of normalcy. This is above normal. Therefore, though we have done such a great text, that itself should be sufficient for us to know the truth, but that has not yet happened, and it's our jignasa and our offering to the Shrutimata and Guru Parampara that we wanted to study these 10 main Upanishads. Therefore, in the sequence of it, along with invoking grace of Shrutimata and Gurus, to give more conviction to us regarding Adhyatmika Jivanam, we are taking up this new or next Upanishad in the series called Taittiriya Upanishad with Bhagavan Shankara's Bhashya, which is very difficult, but we are putting an attempt. And their grace will definitely give us at least some tips, some glimpses, some understanding, some progress. We saw yesterday this Taittiriya Upanishad, which we are beginning. Yesterday only we started, in fact, some introduction. Because Adi Shankara Jayanti, we thought of starting, we did it. It is from Krishna Yajurveda. Taittiriya Aranyaka, chapters number 7, 8, and 9. So the source of this Upanishad is that. Sadhorat, and the 10th one is the Narayana Upanishad, Hatha Purusho Vai Narayana, all that is there in that. But these three become the Taittiriya Upanishad. And this Taittiriya Shaka of the Krishna Yajurveda, as we saw the story yesterday, that on the order of the Guru, the disciples took the form of the Tittiri birds and took all the vomit of Yagnavalkya Rishi. So that is not owned by Yagnavalkya, it is belonging to the Guru Vaishampayana only. But then at that time, through mm, those taking as a form of those birds, because they took it and thereafter they did sadhana, they went ahead in that. That is why to just क्या है, the greatness of those sishyas that they obeyed the Guru, that is why on their name the Upanishad and Shaka is mentioned as Taittiriya Shaka. It has got this Upanishad, three vallis, and each valli has got the Anuvakas. The names of the three vallis are Siksha Valli, Brahmananda Valli, and Bhrugu Valli. Shiksha Valli, Brahmananda Valli, and Bhrugu Valli are the three vallis which have got respectively 15, some other number of Anuvakas, the big shlokas. And in each of in the Shikshavalli, how one has to prepare oneself to deal with himself and the world outside. That Shiksha, along with the basics of the language or grammar or communication, all of them are taught. That is mainly contained in this Shikshavalli, followed by the Samhita Upasana. The five types of Upasanas are that are taught in this particular Shiksha Valli. Thereafter, some of the beautiful things that are taught, how these brahmacharis or sadhakas have to be given importance, value, or they have to be welcomed, and they have to be taken care and molded towards Adhyatmika sadhana. And in this Siksha Valli only, we can see a beautiful thing of Pranava Upasana as we studied in Mandukya exhaustively. Anyway, it is again taught in our Siksha Valli for us. And the highlight of the Siksha Valli is the disciples are taught with this convocational address, which is a very important portion of Hindu scripture, Sanatana Dharma Shastra, as regard the achara, dharma achara, vyavahara is concerned. How I have to deal with the people around, starting from mother and father and all relatives and atiti and all acharya, guru. Then how whenever we face any difficulties regarding decision of dharma and adharma, whom to follow literally or whom to ask the question from, then what is the need of continuing the santati of all the good characters and conduct? All these things are given to the Shishya by the Guru. So the both the things, the prashamsa of the Adhyatmika sadhana is given, in that Anushasana given to the disciple, the Vyavaharik Anushasana and the Adhyatmika Jivana Anushasana were exhaustively given. Beautiful it is. We will enjoy all that slowly, steadily. First, we have to tune to the Upanishad, the main mantras, the Bhashya, and slowly we do. It's a study for me also, for you also. And just beginning only. Each of the Upanishad is different in its own variety. And every time it is afresh for us to make our minds tuned and start studying. In this second Valli called as Brahmananda Valli, we will be taught about all the Panchakosha Viveka, which is a very important topic not only of the Upanishads but in the context of Adhyatmic sadhana, which we studied in either text of Viveka Chodamani or Tattvabodha or Atmabodha. In all those Prakarana Granthas, what was given to us as the Panchakosha covering the Atmavastu, all of that has got base, so source of this Taittiriya Upanishad, this Brahmananda Valli only. So, in this, the Guru directs, guides disciple in the understanding and mastery and transcendence of each of the koshas, and slowly introduces to him that which is Parama Atma, which is beyond even Anandamaya kosha. Then in this again is taught about the Abhaya Pratishtha in this second Valli, wherein when one discovers the Atma Ekameva Advayam Brahmavastu, he will be established in the fearlessness. In other words, if that truth is not known, which is one without second, obviously we are in the duality. Definitely, as long as this duality accepted, the fear will not leave us. Fear is the dukkha. Fear is a cause of prompting us to do many wrong things, etc. So that Abhaya Pratishtha is taught to us. And one of the beautiful concluding topic in this second Brahmananda Valli is the Ananda or Brahmananda Mimamsa, wherein right from ordinary human beings experience of happiness, when he gains everything what he desires. From that up to Brahmananda level, in the hierarchy, in the sequential manner, the Ananda is as if tried to be explained in terms of some quantification, taking human beings' life as Ananda as one unit. Then the 100 times more than him, the Manushya Ananda is Manushya Gandharva, then Deva Gandharva, then Ajana Jana Devanam, then Devanam Ananda Indrasya Prajapate. Like that, slowly in that calculation, as if because that technique or way of mathematical calculation may be appealing to us. In that way, having explained that his Ananda is 100 times more than this, 100 times more like that, finally he says the Prajapati is the most Ananda in this universe and Parabrahma Ananda is even 100 times more than this Prajapati Ananda, and there is nothing beyond that. And that Ananda is gained by a disciple by going to the Guru, studying Shastras, and discovering the Paramatma Vastu in him. And to do that, he'll have to slowly, fully commit for this giving up any identity. That's why in that Brahmananda Mimamsa, continuously, Shrotriyasya cha akamahadasya, Shrotriyasya cha akamahadasya, that mantra comes at every line. The one who is listening to the Shastra and understanding the truth and never ever carried away into the world because of the Pancha Upadita Adatmya and worldliness. Such person will reach to that ultimate Brahma Ananda. That is how in this second Brahmananda Valli, these are the topics covered which we will see. Now in the third most important Valli is the Bhrugu Valli. Bhrugu is the father guru and the Varuna is hmm, sorry. Varuna is father and guru and Bhrugu is the son and disciple. So the Bhrugu approaches to his father Varuna and asks him, give me the Brahma Vidya. And then the father teaches to him, Annam Pranam Manaha Chakshu Shrotram. This itself is Brahma, I have told you. And go and do the Upasana. Go and do the meditation. The disciple so sincere, wonderful. Varuna Sapatyam Bhruguhu. He goes and contemplates, does great tapasya, comes and tells father, I discovered Annam is Brahma. And he explains how it is Brahma. Then the father says, not so, again you have to go. Then Punareva Varunam Pitaram Upasara Adihi Bhagavo Brahmeti Tagam Ho Vacha Tapasa Brahma Vijijnasasva Tapo Brahmeti Satapo Tapyata Satapas Taptva Pranam Brahmeti Vijanat Prana Devakal Vimani Bhutani Jayante Pranena Jatani Jivanti Pranam Pravishanti Avisham Vishanti iti. Like that, the beautiful it flow of the mantra. In this way, what consciously here the father guru Varuna makes happen in the son disciple Bhrigu is through the tapasya, the disciple is transcending in his identity from the annamaya kosha slowly to the sukshma. And slowly all these pancha again koshas are through this type of viveka discrimination are transcended, are given up, and toward the end he will be given that paramatma anubhava. Then anando ya evam veda annavan davan anandam brahma vijanat ananda deva kalipadani bhutani jayante. In this way brahma ananda, parama ananda, supreme ananda, atma ananda is indicated to disciple. Thereafter, everything being the outcome of the Anna, the speciality in only this Upanishad is Anna Brahma Upasana is taught to the disciple. It appears as if the topic is non essential, but as in Gurukula Vasa, and in general, wherever we say, the first thing which makes us survival is Anna only. So, who is there in the Anna Rupa is Brahma only. Earlier in the inquiry, the rejection of the Pancha Koshas are done intellectually to reach to the truth, in the conviction, in the understanding. But when it comes to sadhana, we have to discover Brahma everywhere. Therefore, from the Anna only, the Brahma Upasana is told. Anna Brahma Upasana. Because we can't reject anything in this world. For everything is Brahman or nothing is there. So, what is best thing is what? Keep on accepting everything as Brahma, right from the Anna Ityadi. That great initiation and training is given by the Guru, and then the disciple wholeheartedly folded hands he takes. Now, as in the beginning, in the convocation, the teachings were given to the disciples by the Guru regarding mm, the initial thing regarding the Swadhyaya Prashamsa and Anushasanam to the Shishya. Now the Upanishad is over, the disciple is being sent back to from where they came, except few stay back to assist the Guru. When they were being sent again, in a beautiful, huge flow of the explanation, Guru gives the disciple again the Sadachara Nirnaya. When you go outside, how you have to conduct yourself, so that the knowledge you gain here, the experience you gain here, not only remains intact, but you are also protected in the world wherever you go, and spread this ananda only everywhere to teach that all beautiful sadacharas are taught to disciples. In other words, it's not because you became Brahmagnani that you become irresponsible or erratic. No, you'll be responsible and dignified only, matured only. How that sadachara conduction to be done, that is given. Na kanchana vasato pratyachakshita tadvratam tasmat yaya kaya vidya bhakvannam prapnuyad radhyasman namityachakshate. All these beautiful things are given. And while taking care of all the worldly activities, as taught by the Sadachara here, when you bring what you studied there in the ashrama, the Gurukula, the Vedanta, slowly you will go through the Vyavahara, which is unavoidable because you have to exhaust your prarabdha. Also, you are remembering and using the knowledge gained. Slowly, the prarabdha gets over. You will be able to establish in the knowledge and meditation. Then you will be able to cross one by one koshas and you will be experiencing truth. And actually, the disciple experiences it and he expresses that joy, ecstatic joy, in the form of a vilakshana sound coming out of him, that is in the form of the Samaganam. In that, he discovers the self and knows that he himself is the Annam, he himself is the eater of the Annam, he himself is the substratum of everything. Ahamannam, 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 ahamannado, ahamannado, ahamannada. In that way, he chants. Listening to that, Guru understands कि उसको मिल गया. What is to be gained, he has got it. In this way, this Upanishad in Siksha, Brahmananda, Bhrugu Rupa, three Vallis, it teaches us the Advaita Brahma Vedanta Jnanam with sadhanas for Anubhuti. And the famous chantings of Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, all of them are here only. Then Annam Brahmeti Vejanat, that also here only. All those very famous oft quoted mantras are found here. And then from Paramatma, the all Agni Vayu, Surya, Chandra, they are frightened. That mantra, Bhishasma Dvata Pavate Bhisho Deti Surya, all these things are here only. Then Omiti Brahma, Omiti Degam Sarvam, Omityetadana Kurti Hasmava, Apriyosya Avayante. This explanation about the Om also is taught here alone. No? And that really both शिष्य अनुशासनम एंड सदाचार तो इतना बढ़िया वो हमको गाइड करते हैं. सो इन दिस वे बर्ड उपनिषद तैत्तिरीय तो बर्ड्स आई व्यू we try to give tomorrow day every day little we touch till we become familiar with this Upanishad. Now in this hours study as the sequence is every day for 5 or 6 minutes maximum or even less than that we do the parayana of the Valli, first one, whatever we are studying. Then in these teachings, Bhagavan Shankara we are following. Therefore, in the beginning, first he, in three slokas, salutes the Guru in the sloka number one, salutes the Paramatma in the sloka number one, the Guru Parampara in number two, and then what is there in this text, what to do. Then he, 2-3 pages, gives the Sambandha Bhashyam. We will follow exactly that, whatever we are able to understand. Then he takes up the first Valli, and in that also, Shamno Mitra Sham Varunaha, unlike in other Upanishads, in this, to this Shanti mantra, he will give beautiful Bhashya. Here he gives Bhashya for this. And in, I think, Brihadaranyaka Chandogya, he gives Bhashya to the Bhadram Karnevi, etc. So in this way, we will be doing that Shanti mantra after the Anusambandha Bhashya. Then later on, one by one mantras as they come, we chant them, see the Bhashya, try to catch it. Let it take time. Let us see whether we are able to do it or not. And I believe the Lord, the Guru, who brought us up to this level of trying to study so many Upanishads, he will definitely empower us in our attempt for studying this also. With this, we will again restart our Taittiriya Upanishad, Prathama Shiksha Valli, Shanti Mantra and up to Medha Adi Siddhyartha Avahanti Mantra Parayanam we do. You just keep the book ready with you. Follow 5-10 minutes chanting early morning of mantras of Upanishad is always good Veda mantra. So then our mind is tuned because we are not in a Gurukula and Ashrama where 24 Gante our mind is on that. In our own houses, homes with so much of Vyavahara, which is distracting the mind, disturbing the mind, keeping mind always in Rajas and Damas. Whereas to study the Upanishads, mind always has to be in the Ekagra Bhumika, Shuddha Bhumika, and in the Sukshma Rupa it should be. So these 5-7 minutes will help us to pull our minds from that and tune to Upanishad. Then whatever we listen and study, at least a little of it we'll be able to grasp. That's the idea. Now let us start. Om Atha Krishna Yajurvedantargata Taittiriya Shakantargata Taittiriya Upanishato Atha Prathama Siksha Valli Shanti Mantraha Om. We'll chant it with the swaras. You just follow. Some other time when we meet any in ashram, there we will learn it that way. Start. Om Shanno Mitraha Samvarunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Bruhaspatihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ शिक्षा शास्त्रार्थ संग्रहः ॐ शिक्षां व्याख्यास्यामः वर्णस्वरः मात्राबलं सामसन्तानः इत्युक्तः शिक्षाध्यायः सह नौ यशः सह नौ ब्रह्मवर्चसम् अथातस्वगुंहिताया उपनिषदं व्याख्यास्यामः पञ्चस्वधिकरणेषु अधिलोकमधिज्योतिषमधिविद्यमधिप्रजमध्यात्मं तामहासगुंहिता इत्याचक्षते अथाधिलोकं पृथिवीपूर्वरूपं द्यौरुत्तररूपं आकाशसन्धिः वायुस्सन्धानम् इत्यधिलोकम् अथाधिज्योतिषम् अग्निः पूर्वरूपम् आदित्य उत्तररूपम् आपस्सन्धिः वैद्युतसन्धानम् इत्यधिज्योतिषम् अथाधिविद्यम् आचार्यः पूर्वरूपम् अन्तेवास्युत्तररूपं विद्यासन्धिः प्रवचनगुं सन्धानम् इत्यधिविद्यम् अथाधिप्रजम् माता पूर्वरूपं पितोत्तररूपं प्रजासन्धिः प्रजननगं सन्धानम् इत्यधिप्रजम् अथाध्यात्मम् अधराहनु पूर्वरूपम् उत्तराहनुरुत्तररूपं वाक्सन्धिः जिह्वासन्धानम् इत्यध्यात्मम् इति मामहासंहिताः य एवमेतामहासंहिता व्याख्याता वेद सन्धीयते प्रजया पशुभिः ब्रह्मवर्चसेनान्नाद्येन सुवर्गेण लोकेन यश्छन्दसां वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया स्पृणोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणं जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरिविश्रुवं ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय आवहन्ति वितन्वाना कुर्वाणा चिरमात्मनः वासागंसि मम गावश्च अन्नपाने च सर्वदा ततो मे श्रियमावह लोमशां पशुभिः सह स्वाहा आमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा विमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा प्रमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा दमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा शमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा यशोजने सानि स्वाहा श्रेयान्वस्य सोऽसानि स्वाहा तन्ताभग प्रविशानि स्वाहा समाभग प्रविश स्वाहा तस्मिन् सहस्रशाखे निभगाहं त्वयि मृजे स्वाहा यथाप प्रवतायन्ते यथा मासा अहर्जरम् एवं मां ब्रह्मचारिणः धातरायन्तु सर्वतः स्वाहा प्रतिवेशोऽसि प्रमाभाहि प्रमापद्यस्व ॐ शान्ति शान्ति shanti. In this way, every day, little of introduction, little of our Veda mantra or Upanishad mantra ucharana, chanting, then we do the study of it. Om Atha Srimad Shankara Bhagavat Padacharya Virachita Bhashya Sameta Krishna Yajurvedantargata तैत्तिरीयारण्यांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषतो शिक्षा वल्लिः अथ प्रथमोऽनुवाकः. We'll again do the chanting of Shanti mantra. That's how the tradition is. Then we see what Bhagavan Shankara has to offer to us in those three initial mantras, followed by the Bhashya, the introductory Bhashya. In the introductory Bhashya, I will say at that time after chanting it, Om Shanno Mitrah Sham Varunah Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Bruhaspatihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Rutam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanvamavato Tadvaktaramavato Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. By the grace of Shruti Mata and all Guru Parampara, our own Puja Gurudev and all the Guru Tattva, we have begun the study of Taittiriya Upanishad. In that, first one is Siksha Valli. In that, the first Anuvaka is the Shanti Mantra. Of this, after the Bhashyakara will give us exhaustive meaning. That time we study. But here, the literal meaning is Sham means let there be blessings on us for our own peace from all these devatas who are presiding all our inner faculties as well as the outer world. Who are they? The Mitra, the Varuna, Aryama, Indraha, Brahaspati, Vishnu, and Brahma, again Vayu. All of them we are asking, it is you who are pervading everywhere, O Devata Rupa. It is you because of whom all the upadhis are working and the worldly things are happening. When we pray to you, when you bless us, neither the outer nor inner world become obstruction to our spiritual sadhana, which is very, very essential. Because to pursue the Adhyatmic sadhana, the amount of sham that is required at every moment, at every level is so much that with our efforts we cannot create it. Only when the Devatas bless us, that required poise, required stability, required inspiration, required ability called as that sham will come to us. Then only the depth in the understanding of the Upanishad and pursuit of the sadhana experiencing it will happen. Therefore, throughout our Adhyatmic Jivanam, we need the blessings of all these devatas. Therefore, we must chant this mantra every day and invoke. No, from this only, yesterday we saw in Bhagavad Purana, in that Bhikshu Gitam beginning, that Bhikshu or the Brahmana also, what did he say in the last line? Devaham tatra anumoderan. Do you remember it? In this my conviction of pursuing this inner path, let all the devatas give the permission and also power energy without creating any obstacles. And in Bhagavatam we saw, when one is pursuing Adhyatmic sadhana, none other than devatas only create all obstructions because they don't like us to supersede them, to transcend them, and to stop all oblations which we do to them. Because when you are taking the Adhyatmic marga, we transcend all the karma kshetra, all the yajnayaga are transcended, especially when you take sannyasa. Then no oblations offered from our side to the devata, they become angry, therefore they put obstacles. So there in Bhagavata, same thing here also. In the first mantra, we are invoking the devatas. Very much they are there to protect us, to bless us, to empower us, to remove the obstacles because the path is very tough, razor edges. Surasya dhara nishida duratya, we say in Kathopanishad. And unless we, through their devotion to them, express our own humbleness as well as invoke their power, the consistency in the path, committed way, will not be possible. And it is experience to every one of us. And our experience from last 2 years, we are seeing, unless it is grace of God and gurus, so every day invoked through all prarthana, do you think we could have been continuing all this study? Impossible. Even further now, we need more depths of knowledge, convictions of knowledge, practices and experiences. Definitely we need their blessing. Therefore, this mantra that way becomes a support every day to tune ourselves to the truth as well as to devatas. In this way, second half of this mantra, Shanti mantra, which we are exhaustively going to study after the introductory Bhashyam, talks about the Vayu Deva. You are the Pratyaksha Brahma to me. So let the prana sustain in me. First of all, the life, it is in your hands. Then the pranamaya kosha should function properly in me so that all my faculties, mind, intellect are working intact, that I am able to pursue sadhana. And you are the prana who is the one in the world maintaining everything. Therefore, O Prana Rupa Parabrahma Devata, I am seeking your special blessings because you are the main Devata in maintaining everything in an order and discipline and empowering also all of us, me especially. So that's what in a Prashnopanishad also we have seen the value important of prana, mukhya prana we studied. So this Upanishad follows that one after that Upanishad. इसलिए इसमें मुख्य प्राण का महिमा को जानकर आप ही ब्रह्म हो, आपको हम प्रणाम नमस्कार करते हैं. So please see that protect me, the listener, protect me, the guru. Both of them do the namaskar. Tan mamavatu, tad vaktaramavatu. And to remind him, avatu vaktaram, second time it is asked, please protect the speaker in the speaker, the listener in the listener, that they continue this transaction of not only learning one from one guru, one disciple, but this guru parampara, shishya parampara of continuance of the Tattva Jnana, Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana should go on for eternity. That can be done by the grace only of you, O Vayu. Therefore, I am invoking your grace. That's what will be the feeling there. We will see. Now, Sri Shankara Bhagavad Padanam Upakrama Bhashyam. तदंतर्गत्वेन श्लोकत्रयं मंगलाचरण नमस्कार लक्ष्य निर्देश रूप श्लोकत्रयम् अत्र वर्तते. So Bhagavan Adi Shankara gave 3 mantras in the beginning as invocation from his side. Then he gave Sambandha Bhashyam. Then he took up Shanti mantra, Shanno Mitra and commented on that. Then slowly the Siksha Valli explanation he gives. So what are these 3 mantras? In the first mantra, he is saluting directly Parabrahma Tattva. Second mantra, the entire Guru Parampara, including his own immediate gurus. In the third mantra, what we are going to study and why we are going to study and to whom this study of the Upanishad is useful. These 3 he speaks. Now let us chant the first mantra. If at all you have the book, I'll chant every pada 2 times. So the second time you can feel that I am teaching you and you are repeating. कोई गुरु परंपरा से सीखना पड़ता है इसलिए. Om Yasmat Jatam Jagat Sarvam Yasmat Jatam Jagat Sarvam Yasmin Neva Praliyate Yasmin Neva Praliyate Yene Dandharyate Chaiva Yene Dandharyate Chaiva Tasmai Jnanatmane Namaha Tasmai Jnanatmane Namaha. Together. Yasmat Jatam Jagat Sarvam यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदं धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदं धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः. So namaha, salutations. Tasmai namaha, salutations to him. Who is he? Interesting point. It is said, Tasmai Atmane Namaha. To that Atma, it is salutation. See, Atma is myself, no? How can you see to that? That's how, while explaining, the Guru had to explain. Slowly, it comes down to there is a salutation to my own self, not in the form of jukofy and bending, but by only being so. The salutation to the self ultimately is by being one with the self. But before that, Tasmai Namaha, Tasmai Atmane Namaha. To that Supreme Self, who is my goal now. I am in the beginning only and saluting and asking that Self to reveal Himself to me. And which is this Self? Jnana Atmane Namaha. The Self who is nothing but Jnana Swarupa, the Prajna Swarupa, the Prajnapti Swarupa, the Gnapti Swarupa. To that Jnana Atma, my salutations. See, Tasmai Jnanatmane Namaha, my salutations to the self which is of the nature of absolute pure knowledge. That is what our goal also. Where we reach ultimately is the Gnapti Swarupa, in which pure conscious existence remains. Other than that, everything is dissolved. Even it appears, it is known only as appearance. Okay. And then what is this Jnana Atma whom we are saluting? In the first two lines, from the world standpoint, this Paramatma or the Brahma Tattva or Jnana Atma is said to be both Upadhana as well as Nimitta Karana for the entire Jagat. In fact, through the study of this Upanishad and all Vedanta, what we discover is that only that the Parabrahma Paramatma only is the Abhinna Nimitta Upadhana Karana of the entire world. Other than him, there is no thing. Though everything is appearing. The appearance is delusion, Maya. And then appearance is taken also as delusion or Maya. Thereafter, when we inquire through the study Shastra, discover the self. After that also the world appears. But at that time, the Maya alone is made, used as Upadhi through which the world is imagined. Not like the earlier stage of bondage where we took everything as real and other than self. But after that, everything is self, self's power that is becoming as Upadhi. Through the Upadhi, the self alone is seen as the Jagat. Without self being transformed to anything, that experience will come at that time. But here, the first line talks about the Paramatma alone to be the Upadana Karana for the entire Jagat. Such type of mantras come in many, many other textbooks also. What he says, Yasmat Jatam Jagat Sarvam. That Jnana Atma from whom the entire Jagat is born. Here the born is in our language. In the Vedantic language, it is only manifested or projected or imagined or superimposed. So, but because we are experiencing it as if so solid, therefore we say it is born. Doesn't matter. In the beginning stages, Sabshalta, as we become finer and subtler in our study, we become careful in every word's usage. It should not misunderstand or take us away from Paramatma. Oh, attention aa gaya. So, yasmat jatam jagat sarvam. So, the entire jagat, jagat means jagata, jayate, born, gachati, modifies, tishtati, dissolves. Or jagati, gachati iti jagati. That which goes on modifying, changing, never stable even a moment. That is the definition for this jagat from this word jagat. And the two jagats we always study in our Vedanta class, the outer jagat of Panchabhautika Stula Jagat, the inner jagat of the Vrutyatmaka Jagat. So the Stula Jagat, Sukshma Jagat, both of them are Yasmat Jatam Jagat Sarvam, are born from, manifested out of that Atma Vastu, which is Jnana Sarupa. To him, our salutation. So, in the beginning only, as if the goal is indicated to us, the entire world of multiple varieties, how much ever they may be, are, but they all from one cause substratum only. Like with one rice, how many variety of things are made as eatables by the genius people? Some of them have come, many may come in the future. So, for an ordinary person of ignorance, gross level, he doesn't know कि जब मरमरे वहाँ रखे जाते हैं या चिवड़ा वहाँ दिखता है या कोई पापड़ है वहाँ. So he eats each of them in a different time and different way. And somewhere he will have the pulao, somewhere he'll have the biryani. No, but all of them are variety expressions of the one rice only, is it not? कहीं इडली बनता है, कहीं डोसा बनता है. No, they all are from only one source. So, yasmat jatam, this entire jagat of food items. So too, when you see so many sweets, all of them are one. When you look at the sweets or the earlier said example, looking at that names and forms and variety, we can never at the superficial level can accept that they are all sourced from one cause. To all the absolute Westerners, not NRIs, when you talk to them about the idli and dosha and give them, they eat and ask what from it is made. They say, you have to tell it's from the rice. How come? Then they'll be so surprised. Then you have to take them and show them how the rice and all are soaked and then is made into that dough and then how it is put on the tawa. You show him, then he will believe. But yasma jatam jagat sarvam, the jagat of those items is born from one source of that rice. So too in this world, the jagat of the entire world of clothes. How many number of types, but all of them have from one source of the cotton. So feel that meaning. This should introduce into us. If it's already introduced, it is strengthened to us that the variety of the world, inner and outer, with so much of multiplicities in all of them, have one only as the source, substratum, and that one is nothing but the Atma, and the Swarup of the Atma, that level is Jnana. And by becoming one with that, we do salutations to it. When we do salutation, that Atma will bless us. The blessing is in the form of infinite bliss. There is no more samsara. No bandhana. So, yasmat jatam jagat sarvam. Over. Now, yasmin eva praliyate. Is it not? For the first pralaya is every day death that is happening. The another pralaya is when Brahmadeva wants to sleep, then all the tattvas he makes into the avyakta. The third pralaya is when a Brahmagnani, Atmagnani or a sadhaka awakens to the Brahmagnana sthiti. At that time, where do all these jagat goes into? The outer and inner. Again, yasmin eva praliyate. They go back into him only. Now, where from the snake came? From the rope. Where will it go back? Into the rope. Why do we say it has come from the rope? Because there was nothing other than the rope for it to come out. Then what remained after the snake disappeared was the rope only. Therefore, we have to imagine that it came from snake rope and it entered into rope. Though it never happened. Neither it's coming, nor its stationary nature, nor its merging back has never happened. But when the question say asked कि कहाँ गया अभी तक जो सांप दिख रहा था, उसको ऐसा आंसर देना पड़ता है. In the same way, world is never created out of the self. Therefore, world never enters into the self. World is only projected on the self. Then the projection dissolves in the experience of the self. And yet, for the sake of the initial students, it is said, if from him only everything is born, and into him only it gets dissolved into. So yasmat jagat sarvam, then yasmin eva praliyate. And this is said to be the goal also. Oh, my dear friend, forgetting yourself, you project the world and started involving in that like the spider. Brought out its own saliva, made the jala, and it started moving in that. Now, again, it is your own responsibility to consume or dissolve all your inner and outer worlds and remain as your own self. A goal also indicated in this. Yasmin eva praliyate. And a very beautiful encouragement given here is what? The Jagat, how much you hold on to, it will never remain permanent. Therefore, it only leads to misery if you hold on to that. Whereas the self is such a permanent thing. If you hold on to that, it will never miss you, leave you, or defeat you, or deceive you, or cheat you. More than that, the self is infinite, it is unconditional, it is blissful. Therefore, the infinite, unconditional, blissful self is the one which you have to experience by dissolving your inner and outer worlds. That is an indication of a final spiritual sadhana, also done by this mantra by Bhagavan Shankara. So, this shows the Upadana Karana for the Jagat is Paramatma, because the coming and going is spoken. So, the pot came from the mud, pot entered into the mud. The coming and going is the language which indicates the material cause called Upadana. Now the second line, yena idam dharyate cha eva. That by which in the sthiti kala, the entire world is supported. That also is same Chaitanya Swarupa Paramatma only. Because between that pot's making and breaking, as long as the pot is surviving, whether it is kept in the storeroom or brought into the sales counter or being bought by another person, and he has taken it his house, he is using it in and through that, who is the one who is supporting the pot? Its presence, its all transaction. Is it not the Chetana or the Chaitanya? In all of them, the Chaitanya in the maker, Chaitanya in the storekeeper, Chaitanya in the person who has sold, Chaitanya in the person who has bought it. Then he took it home, then wife just washed it and she put the water. Children are drinking water from it. So everyone who is dealing with the pot are dealing with their own Chaitanyata. चैतन्य नहीं है तो घड़े का कोई अस्तित्व या उपयोग या नहीं होता है. Is it not? When the father says, "Beta, जो कल लाए थे घड़ा, bring water from it," means he is aware of the pot. Then the child goes to that place only. That means he is also aware of the pot. Then in between the mother or other also says, "अरे मेरे भी ले आओ." They when he goes, and that means they are also aware. So in the awareness only the pot remaining. In the example of mud and pot. So too, in the awareness only, the entire Jagat is the pot now. Paramatma is the mud sthaniya. He is in the awareness only. Therefore, yena idam dharyate cha eva. In the sthiti kala, entire world is upheld by the pure self only. And which self, which is very difficult for us to understand now, but ultimately this is where we have to reach to the self here called as Jnana Atma. That means other than Shuddha Jnapti Swarupa Chaitanya Swarupa Atma in this world, whatever the Stulata, the Sukshmata, and the variety of the changes that are happening in the Stula Sukshma, in the shapes and colors, forms, actually none of them are real. Everything is nothing but Shuddha Chaitanya Swarupa only. But then that's the power of Maya, which is creating such a variety and making it appear so real, just like a movie. You know, in the movie also you have variety of colors, variety of the objects, variety of the shapes. But सब देखा जाए तो कुछ है ही नहीं वो screen में. What is there is only one screen. So too, like you are there, I am there, the world is there, the birds are there, animals are there. At this level of ours, they are all perceivable sthula vastus, and I am the perceiver, perceiving them through my instruments. This is what we all are living life. But when the inquiry sets in, when the deep meditation happens, when the sthula sukshma are transcended, what do we see? Everything is nothing but jnana atma. Just like scientist. To him, whatever the variety of objects of the world, with whatever shapes, sizes, colors that are there, to him ultimately all of them are nothing but the paramanu, the atoms. In his highest maturity of inquiry and understanding, when he resolved the cause of all the things, he found one common denominator called as atom. He transacts with the world as we do. When you call it as chair, he'll also call chair, table. कुछ भी आप कहो वो भी वही कहेंगे. But difference in him and us is, for us the solid chair is real, table is real. Well, for him, what in and through that what is permeating is the atoms, that is real. So the atoms are not seen. Chain alone is seen for both. But in the understanding of that scientist, he knows everything is nothing but the coming together of the atoms through molecularization in the form of this world. The other person who has not studied that science, he will not accept or understand. उसको वेग लगता है. More than that, जरूरत नहीं लगता है. कुर्सी बनाओ, बैठो उस पर. कुर्सियाँ सब चीजें बने हैं आटम से, उसकी क्या जरूरत है, उनको लगता है. So, if you understand that example, so too for an Atmagnani, though he transacts with the world like others also, he knows, like for the scientist, everything is made of atom, he knows everything is Jnana Swarupa Atma. And it is so logical also, whether I do a karma, whether I perceive something, whether I experience something, whether I respond, react to this world, in and through that, the Chaitanya Atma is required or not. And where is that Chaitanya Atma in all these interactions? Where is what? Everywhere at every moment. Now then everywhere, every moment, the Chaitanya Atma alone is there. Then where from all these things are there and the happenings are happening in that? That is what we have to dissolve. No, that is called as power of Maya. See, when throughout the cloth, the thread alone is permeating, where is the cloth then? That is what you have to discover. Without tearing the cloth and making it into thread. पूरा कपड़े में धागा ही है. Is it a falsehood? It is a truth only. It's not a lie. So if everywhere in the so-called cloth, the thread alone is there, where is the cloth? In its own absence. It's in superimposition on the thread only. But that superimposed thread is the cloth is more useful and valuable than the thread in the Vyavahara. And because of importance given to Vyavahara, the importance is gathered by the cloth also. When the cloth has become important, the obvious thing is the thread became devalued. Then we are talking only in terms of cloths. There are very less the thread businesses. There will always be cloth business only more. Because उसका utility ज़्यादा है. तो व्यावहारिकता के कारण ये जो आरोपित है वो सत्ता को गैदर करते हुए जो अधिष्ठान है उसको हम भूल जाते हैं. That's the power of Maya. Now the entire world of cloth, which is a huge business to us. Just for the sake of example, I am telling, don't follow it. The entire world of business of cloth, which is so huge to us, has not even a concept also in the birds and trees and animal. उनको कपड़ा है ही नहीं है दुनिया है ही. Interesting, right? Yeah. In the people who eat non-veg and all killing and for the sattvic person of vegetarianism, the entire world of non-veg is not at all there. खत्म हो गया वो. Therefore, because we are in Vyavahara, for us the ornaments are required. Otherwise, where is the ornament there other than gold? Every ornament is permeated by gold. Where is the ornament then? Interesting. In the same way, the whole self alone permeated. Then where is the Jagat? In its own absence, in your own utility. That is why basic is what? You as a Jiva identify the Upadhi, wanting to get Sukha. Therefore, for your sake, Paramatma is appearing as this Thula Jagat. And you are bound in that. In this way. येनेदम धार्यते च एव तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः. So yenedam dharete is called as upada nimitta karana. Then yasmad jatam jagat sarvam yasmineva paraliyati is called as upadana. Therefore upadana nimitta rupa. Abhinna means non-differentiated, one without second. Karana of nimitta and upadana is the jnana atma for the entire world. To him, by recognizing is this way, I am saluting. Tasmai jnanatmane namaha. And in one of the great textbooks, I don't know which one is, Yata sarvani bhutani pratibhanti sitani cha yatraivopashamam yanti tasmai satyatmane namaha. I think Yoga Vasishta is the one which starts with this mantra. If I am not wrong, just it clicked to me. Same like Shankara Bhagavan started Taittiriya Bhashyam. यत सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैव उपशम्यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः. This is how Valmiki ji starts the Yoga Vasishta. Remember, Yoga Vasishta is given by Vasishta to Rama, but written by the Valmiki ji. याद रख लेना. So in the same way, here in the first sloka, the Atma Vastu, Tattva, Brahma Vastu is saluted by showing him to be the Abhinna Nipinta Upadana Karana. Abhinna means one only, not two different. Like in making a pot, the Upadana is mud, the Nimitta is the pot maker, but they are not Abhinna, they are Bhinna. Mud is different and he is different. In case of the entire universe, both the Upadana material nimitta, the efficient, both causes are Paramatma only. That's why the Abhinna word is brought. And we have seen all Upanishads. In the beginning of creation, he alone was there. From him only creation came. Therefore, obviously, he only should have to be the Nimitta and Upadana Karana. These all logically, intellectually, for lies together when we inquire, slowly we come to that acceptance. Then the sadhana, then experience of self. For that, the sacrifice of all this maja of the world, we have to do through Viveka Vairagya. Every scientist, how many lives he must have done, Vivek and Vairagya, that he has given up all the entertainment, enjoyment, bhoga, which is the natural involvement of all of us non scientists. Then only he is into that chamber of inquiry where he is taken up the theme and started doing research and discovered. So, a scientific mind of total sacrifice, total commitment is required for understanding spiritual truths, also, by the way. Now, in the second mantra, Bhagavan Shankara salutes the entire Guru Parampara who have contributed to the bringing up Sanatana Dharma up to this level and even further. शुरू से लेकर अभी तक, अब से लेकर आगे तक जो कोई भी संत ऋषि महात्मा जो तत्व का वेदांत का एक्सप्लेनेशन देते हैं, not only the Advaita Vedanta, but any other Adhyatmika sadhana, whoever have proposed and guided the people from the adharma, papa to dharma and punya, and from dharma, punya to even spirituality, whether you call Dvaita or Advaita, Vishishta, Advaita, iska difference is baad mein. But basically, whoever are listening to these Mahatmas, they are rising above the worldliness and tuning toward Paramatma. That itself is the greatest achievement. From that standpoint, every such Mahatma have to be saluted. Even the Mahatmas of any other religion on the universe. After all, they all taught humanity. They all taught the values. They all directed them towards the God. Of course, the definition of the God, the explanation of the God, the definition of the bondage and liberation, there may be differences depending on their own maturities, references, practices, and experiences. ओके हो सकता होगा, बट बेसिकली सबने अपने तरफ से कंट्रीब्यूशन किया. Like every businessman, industrialist in the country, in his own way, is contributing to the comforts of the people of the nation and the economy of the nation. Therefore, everybody is valuable, like in a college or school. Each teacher is teaching different subject, but every teacher is equally great, noble, both from the children's standpoint of their teaching for the entire college for its sustenance. So, which teacher to respect? All teachers. For that matter, to facilitate the teachers to teach, the non-teaching staff also are working their own way in the administration, in transfer, all of that. अब वो भी कम थोड़ी है, उनको भी नमस्कार करो. In the same way, his second mantra is one of the very important one, in which unbiasedly and unambiguously every guru in this world from the Guru Tattva we salute. Then we focus our attention with the same respect to our Guru to be blessed by him for this knowledge. And this knowledge, when it is substantiated and helped by the knowledge of the any guru, we have to accept, because ultimately Guru Tattva is in one and Gurutva also is one. Guru Tattva is the essence. Gurutva means teacherness is one. Gurus may be different in languages, in their forms, etc. That's okay. That depends on the kala and the need of the majority of people. Accordingly, the expression of God as Guru differs. So this mantra every day almost we are chanting in our last 1-2 years. So today we found it is found in the Taittiriya Upanishad Bhashya written by Bhagavan Adi Shankara. Pado, I say, you repeat it. Yairime Gurubhi Purvam, Yairime Gurubhi Purvam, Padavakya Pramanataha, Padavakya Pramanataha, Vyakhyataha Sarva Vedantaha, Vyakhyataha Sarva Vedantaha, Tanityam Pranatosmyaham, Tanityam Pranatosmyaham. Together. यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान्नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्. Aham pranatah asmi. I am humbly saluting Tan to all of them. Nityam means not daily, but every moment. There should be no moment where we forget our Guru. Remembrances are at various levels. We know only the remembrance at the mind level. There will be remembrance even at the subtle level of our own samskaras, and the highest memory level is the Atmiya level, and that's possible when we totally surrender, wherein we experience that our existence is because of them. That's the ultimate remembrance. So, by a variety of upasanas done to the gurus or guru, we make them so much important part and parcel in our life. There is no moment we forget them, and with that remembrance, we continuously do pranam. Now, see, I'll tell tomorrow more details of it. Unless if it is not so important about the presence of Guru in our life in general, particularly in Adhyatmikata, how can the Jagat Guru Adi Shankara say, Tan Nityam Pranatosmi? हर मूवमेंट में उनको निरंतर प्रणाम करूंगा. दिस स्टेटमेंट वुड हैव नॉट कम if the importance of Guru and our surrender to him in our life is so valuable. If it is not so, what is the underlining meaning is what? Unless Nirantara Smarana of the Guru is there, through that only Nirantara Smarana of what Guru taught, and what Guru taught is Tattva, and only when the Tattva is Nirantara Rupena remembered, that we are free from the Maya and its creation of Samsara. The moment Guru Smarana forgotten, immediately Guru given Jnana forgotten, then the Tattva is forgotten, the Maya takes place, its position, the entire world of multiplicity projected outside, inside, immediately triggers Ragadvesha. In a moment's time, one becomes samsara. Therefore, how much we have to be aware of Guru, Guru's teachings, and in that Tattva. That's why Ta Nityam Pranatos. Always, Guru, you should be continuously remembered. Just like for a Bhakta, his own Ishtadeva, for the disciple, the Guru only the Ishtadeva. निरंतर याद रहना और उसमें गुरु परंपरा तान नित्यम प्रणतोस्मि. In whatever the form you are there, O Masters, who have contributed in bringing this knowledge up to our level, our salutations to you. So, who are they? Yaihi, Gurubihi, Ime, Purvam, सर्ववेदांताः व्याख्याताः पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः. यही गुरुभिः इमे सर्वे वेदांताः पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः पूर्वं तान् अहं नित्यं प्रणतः अस्मि. All these Vedantas, right from the beginning of creation, those Mahatmas, those Gurus, those Rishis, who have given the Vyakhyana to them at different periods of history, as per the requirement of the Jiva's evolution of that time, they have put their effort to do Vyakhyana. Therefore, they will not fight the Vyakhyana comparison between Bhagavan Adi Shankara, Bhagavan Madhva, Bhagavan this Ramanuja. So he gave Advaita, Ramanujaji gave the Vishishta Advaita, Madhvacharya gave Dvaita. There should not be any fighting. All of them are masters. To the people required at that time, they have given the commentaries of the Shastra for their sadhana. Remember, they were commonly honest. They were loyal to the Upanishads and Shastra, and the common thing in them was to only guide the people for evolution. In this way, they were all perfect masters. When you come to the Siddhanta level, Advaita, Dvaita, Vidvanta, you can't even fight with them, which we 100 times we studied. The Advaita is Anubhavatmaka, the Vishishtadvaita is Bhavatmaka, and Dvaita is Vyavahara. As much the Vyavaharik Dvaita will never yield us moksha, because moksha is an experience, it is gained as Advaita Brahma. So much the Anubhavik Advaita can never help us the Vyavahara, because in Vyavahara, Advaita won't work, Dvaita is required. अब लड़ाई करोगे अद्वैत बंदा कि अद्वैत ही अल्टीमेट है. Yes, it is experientially, but in the Vyavahara, Advaita will not work. How can you interact in the world if there is no Dvaita? How will you learn the Shastra first of all if the Guru is not there other than you in front? How will you serve your parents if they are not other than? Therefore, व्यवहार तो जरूरी है साधना के लिए भी. व्यवहार तो द्वैत से ही संभव है. Then how can you reject it? What said Siddhanta way, Siddhantika way said, why Shankara that Ekamevadvayam Brahma, which is the ultimate theme of Upanishad. Its position we have to respect in a different manner, not to humiliate or insult other Siddhantas. They have their validity, importance in their own level. So too the jnana, bhakti, yoga, karma, even the sadhanas that are done by other religions, सब भगवान की तरफ जाने के साधना है. They are all given by the great masters only. And the Lord only prompted them to provide such things for that lot of disciples or sadhakas or bhaktas. That is why here to everyone, Purva means right from the beginning. Those masters, gurus who have done the Vyakhyan of all the Vedas. How? Pada Vakya Pramanataha. They explained Pada word by word, then they explained Vakya, sentence by sentence, then they showed the Vedanta Pramana, and they themselves became Pramana by experience. Pramana means experience, Pramana means logic, Pramana means Udaharana, example, and quotations. Experience, logic, quotation, and examples are the pramana through which they have explained the Vedanta, facilitating to the disciples. To all of them, our salutations. So we also salute the entire Guru Parampara today. Now, in the next mantra, what is there in the Taittiriya Upanishad will be told. Then the Sambandha Bhashya starts. Tomorrow, we will start it. Some tuning has happened today, I'm sure, for this Upanishad and us. And Taittiriya Upanishad has its own unique speciality that among all 10, the Taittiriya is Upanishad which Bhagavan Adi Shankara gave his first comment, not Isha Gainakata Prashna. His first bhasha is in Taittiriya only. Taittiriya is the one first, then only other things he commented. And in commenting Brahma Sutra, Bhagavan Adi Shankara has quoted this Taittiriya Upanishad 147 times. 150, 47 times quoted. So that way, in the heart of Adi Shankara, this Upanishad has a speciality. Therefore, he started with these great mantras of invoking Guru as well as invoking before that the Atma Tattva, Tasmaya Jnanatmane Namaha. Then what is there in the Upanishad? He will say, then the introductory bhashya is very good. What is the introductory bhashya? Is a ज्ञान के लिए प्रयास करके ज्ञान के द्वारा परमात्मा को पाना है. Without prayasa, the jnana will not come. So he is prompting us to do the jnana sadhana for Atma Jnana and Mukti. While teaching all that in the Sambandha Bhashya, he will answer to karmishta vyakti. Two type of the karmishta vyaktis. One, through karma they want to know the truth. Second, through giving up karma they want to know the truth. Both of them are rejected here. Through karma, you can't know the truth because in the karma, the duality is maintained. Therefore, truth is non dual, you can't achieve. Without karma, you can't know the truth also because without doing karma, you become lazy. Then, this karma which reveals jnana to you, that you must do. ऐसे बैठे बैठे कोई आएगा कुछ करेगा परमात्मा मिल जाएगा ऐसा नहीं सोचना करना पड़ेगा मेहनत एंड दैट मेहनत इज ओनली द आध्यात्मिक वाला नॉट अगेन द वर्ल्डली बिजनेस यू अंडरस्टैंड. This is how, in the introductory bhashya, Bhagavan very beautifully explains and gives answers to Purva Pakshi when they ask question. Thank you. Sarvam Samasta Guru Devatar Shivani Brahma Tattva Shruti Sharanara Vindarpanamastu. We will continue our chanting every day. Om 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 Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vajishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Paramarshibhyo Namaha Parabrahmane Namaha Shrutimatre Namaha Vaishampayana Rishe Namaha Yagyavalkya Rishe Namaha Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu Shrutimatre Namaha. Thank you, friends. Now, for 10-15 minutes, we will study our Viduraniti. And at the time of study only, we will value the thought that is given